Hello everyone, I am so happy to be here. Thank you for allowing me some of your time. Thank you for all of your attendance. We are very, very proud of what I'm going to tell you about. We're very proud of what we are doing here in Budapest and our plans for the future, and I hope you will be as well. So, I am the co-founder and executive vice president of Visual Concepts. We started more than 30 years ago. We've made more than 100 different video games over the years. We are best known for 2K sports series of games, including NBA 2K, which is one of the world's top 10 largest game franchises. Visual Concepts, we are 9 studios worldwide. Novato, California, which is our headquarters, VC South and VC Los Angeles in Southern California, Blue Shift in San Jose, VC Korea in Seoul, South Korea, VC China in Shanghai, VC Budapest here, VC Parkland in Ontario, and VC Next, which is going to be very, very exciting, but I can't tell you about it yet. In the next few months, you will hear about it. Our culture and philosophy, Visual Concepts is owned by Take-Two Interactive Software, Inc. But Visual Concepts believes in hiring only the topmost talent. Our environment is entrepreneurial and non-corporate. We employ, and I cannot emphasize that enough, many companies have many managers, many layers, a lot of paperwork, a lot of meetings. We don't. We hire very smart people, and we promote tons of freedom and individuality for these smart people to be able to take initiative and not have to spend your time in meetings, and to have the freedom and the flexibility to grow and learn. And that's how we make the games that we do. We believe in empowering individualism and collaboration, both for our people and our studios. One very important thing is none of our studios are satellite offices or outsourcing studios. We have studios in Korea and Shanghai. For years, we never opened a studio for purposes of saving money or just doing artwork. All of our studios are full development studios. All of the engineers, for example, and the artists take the same test, the same interview criteria that they have to meet in order to be hired. So everyone is equal around the world. We consider ourselves to be a global family. The team members from each of our studios regularly travel to our headquarters in Novato, California. That is always true, except for what is very unfortunately happening around the world with coronavirus. So, for all the people that are suffering from that, and having to stay at home or not being able to travel, well, I came here to see you. Hopefully that that settles down, and then things can go back to normal soon. But under normal circumstances, all the people from our studios come out to Novato, come out to California for trade shows, technical conferences with Microsoft and Sony, participate in the planning and development process, and really just developing the one-on-one relationships face-to-face. We also do a lot of exchange programs where people from studios in California will work in Korea or China or soon to be Budapest. Recently we shipped NBA 2K20, a worldwide top 10 best-selling game with over 12 million users. We also shipped WWE 2K20, which is the first version on a new engine with a multi-year plan to rebuild the franchise from the ground up, which is very difficult to do. But we have high hopes for the future. With Tencent, for many years, we've been making NBA 2K Online, which is China's #1 sports MMO game. We also create iOS and Android versions, such as NBA 2K20 and NBA 2K Mobile. This is a trailer from NBA 2K. Being a sports game, and especially being a sports game that we've been developing for 20 years and ship every year, all the NBA players play our game. And when they get done practicing on the court, they go to their house and they play our game. They're very competitive. So they look at details, and if we don't get their details right for their tattoos, we hear about it. So every year we're always pushing to make it as realistic as we possibly can in terms of the animation, the graphics, the rendering, the AI. It's a ton of work, but it looks better and better and better every year, and we're very proud of the results. And I believe we have a version of NBA on PS4 Pro running out there. And if you go into the game and you zoom in on the skin or the tattoos, you see the details, you see the sweat. Anyways. Okay, and I have one more NBA video to show you. So, 10 years ago, NBA 2K was an amazing basketball video game where you're playing inside the arena, on the court floor against other teams, and you're managing the team and all this other functionality like that. But it was a basketball game. We weren't satisfied with that. And we added, over the years, we were the first to add a true career mode, RPG. In NBA 2K15, the famous director Spike Lee came in and directed the movie for it, wrote the movie, and we had actors that was talking about you know, what it's like to really be you know, an NBA player who started from nothing, you know, poor, and just working your way up. Then we weren't satisfied with that, and we said, okay, well, why do we just have to have a story and an RPG where you're inside the arena? Let's go outside. And if we're outside, then there's a whole bunch of other things that you can do. And let me show you what we came up with. This is what we call the neighborhood. It is an MMO, you know, 100 players, all their sunglasses and their clothes, playing bicycles. Look at that. Race cars in a basketball game? Lots of things you can do. In addition, it's a central hub for playing basketball, but dodgeball. But it's also different things that you can do interacting with your friends. It's a social hub. You can go into stores and you buy your gear, you go to the gym, and you also play games. it's hard to see here, but the seasons change and the snow is really cool, looks really beautiful, and it was developed here at BC Budapest. Anyways. Okay. So I'll just run through this quickly because you already saw it. Stunning visuals. We are always striving for cutting-edge graphics and physical simulation. Being a basketball game, being a sports game, the motion has to be exactly accurate. People can't pop around like you have in a, say, a first-person shooter. It's very, very detailed. And so it's not just the rendering of pixels that we do, but the mathematical calculations that we do. We have a full musculoskeletal system that we're simulating down to the bone level. Injuries in the game happen on the fingertip level, not just whether a player is injured or not. So much detail goes into this game that you don't even see, but you appreciate when you play the game. And when the NBA players play the game, and they say, "Yup, that's exactly real." Online started. NBA 2K actually was the world's first online console video game, believe it or not, in the year 2000, because we were owned by Sega Japan and we launched the Sega Dreamcast. Every Dreamcast had a modem in it, because the late owner, Okawa-san of Sega, believed that the internet was the future. But this was way back before apps and downloads and broadbands. This is a modem, but every person that bought a Dreamcast and bought our game could plug the modem into the phone line, and then we squeezed the bits down with a very small pipe so that you could play head-to-head against your friend across town or across another city. We were the first in the world to do this. Career mode, also first to create a deep story and RPG campaign. We're just very passionate. We're always innovating, technically and creatively. I talked about NBA, and there's many different ways you can play it. The MMO I showed you. The WNBA, we're very happy to be the first people to incorporate the real WNBA women's basketball in NBA 2K20, where we, rather than what our competition did, which is to take a female model and attach it to all the male motion capture data, we went out with the real WNBA athletes and redid all the motion capture. NBA 2K League is very exciting. We're the first to partner with a professional sports organization. So each of the NBA teams have a gaming division, and there's a draft, and the top players get drafted by the NBA teams. And when they get drafted, they move to the city where that team is. They get team housing, they get a salary, they get a coach, they get a trainer, and then they compete against other NBA teams. It's really very exciting. And I think it takes esports up to a new level. Now I will show you our WWE game. WWE is interesting because we make a realistic simulation of a fake sport. And this is running under our new engine. Being a rebuilding, we shipped with a lot of bugs. And we're still fixing bugs, but next year there will be less bugs, and we'll be able to make, with our new engine, we'll be able to make the game that we've been dreaming of making ever since we acquired this franchise from a publisher that went out of business a number of years ago. Like I said, new engine, detailed creation tools for creating your own characters, arenas, shows, interviews, videos. Are there any WWE wrestling fans in this room? Maybe one or two or three. It's like Midwestern in the United States and in some other places where it's a small. The fans are so passionate about it, it's amazing. But it's not everywhere. This is obviously what I'm sure everyone will be very interested in. We are currently hard at work on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and we will have a day one launch title for those machines. We have a very long history of console game development and pushing the envelope, and we're going right down to the metal to squeeze every cycle and every bit and every pixel rendering capability out of the machines to make the best game that we can in each new hardware generation. So for many generations, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, this new one, we get the hardware very, very early from Sony and Microsoft, especially with a game as big as NBA 2K. They get us the hardware way early, so we've been working on it for a long time. We are very, very excited about what it's going to, what it lets us do, both visually as well as creatively. And I think everybody is really going to be blown away. I cannot believe what I have seen. I will come out and tell you, we believe that we are the only developer that is making a game exclusively for the next generation systems. We've heard that most other of the top franchises are up-resing textures and up-resing resolution and LOD. We have our team and our entire team, NBA team, dedicated to specifically the next generation version. So that's going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be features, and if you looked at a couple of videos that I showed you, including the outdoor, there's going to be a lot of really amazing new content. And I am very proud of the fact that VC Budapest is also currently working on these next generation systems. Let me talk about VC Budapest. It's kind of a funny story for you. How long do I have? Oh, I got 5 minutes. I'll talk fast. So about 2.5 years ago, we hired a guy named Andras who had applied on our website for a job and doing Maya tools development, and we hired him, and he wanted to move to California. So we had him working out of our South Korean office for the 1 year that it takes in order to get an intercompany transfer visa. Well, after a few months, he sent me an email and he said, "Scott, I really love visual concepts, I really love my job, but I don't really like Seoul, South Korea, and I'm kind of nervous living south of the border of that crazy guy with the possible nuclear weapons. He said, can I work out of my house in my apartment in Budapest? And we had also by this time hired a friend of his, a professor at a local university. And I said, work out of your house? No, forget it. I'm gonna get on a plane and we're gonna find an office. And 5 of us went around, we looked at a bunch of spaces, we found the perfect spot. I called up Take Two, we have a lot of clout with them, and I said, I need this done right away. And within 8 weeks, that was December 2 years ago, within 8 weeks, we had a Hungarian Visual Concepts Hungary official entity. We had it painted, we had the equipment, we had the security, we had everything, and February 1st, 2018, the doors opened. But that's how we do things. We do it very, very fast. So they've been working on WWE and NBA 2K. VC Budapest has created Maya art tools for animation and graphics, and added graphics features for the game, including the very, very cool sky and cloud effects, the snow that I mentioned, lighting and shadows. And even with the time difference, they're working, hand in hand with people in California, working on the same code. WWE, they've worked on the animation system, gameplay and tools, and the continuous integration support for the new engine. We are just very, very proud of the team, and we are growing the studio. And one of the reasons I'm here, and this conference is perfect timing, is we are planning on significantly growing the studio. It's currently a small 10-person team. We are hiring. This is an opportunity to work for a very flat company. We're very cool people. We're not corporate bean counters. We are not a number. We care. We treat people fairly. We give people opportunities to grow. We listen to people. If you have an idea, you don't have a manager that says you can't do that. You get the opportunity to make suggestions. And we listen. We do our best, because we know that at the end of the day, this has always been our philosophy for 30 years, we know at the end of the day, the company's sole assets get in their cars and go home. There's nothing other than the people that constitutes who we are. And so we think that we are a great place to work, with lots of opportunities for graphics engineers, Maya tools engineers, gameplay engineers, server engineers, technical artists, game designers. Please check out our website. I'm happy to field a couple of questions if we have.
Yeah, it's fast Q&A maybe. Questions?
Ask anything you want.
I just wanted to ask what type of projects the team is working on here in Budapest. It is public, the AAA projects or mobile games or the game engine?
Console only. Here in Budapest.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, meaning, our Shanghai studio does some of our mobile development and kind of mobile engine. Here in Budapest, it's all now PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. It was from the beginning.
Any question? Aaron?
I have a question that maybe in the future will you do internship with juniors who just got out of the university with no experience?
Absolutely, we love doing that. We do that regularly. Every year we hire a lot of people who just graduated. We have interns who have not yet graduated, obviously. We think that's incredible. We think we like people bringing in new ideas, fresh ideas, and then they can learn, and often, very often, then when they graduate, they come and work full-time for us, which we also love. But yes, we support internships very much.
Thank you for your answer.
Any others? Hát köszönjük szépen még egyszer a tanstarsot Scott Pattersonnak. Ezt el kell mondanom, hogy nagyon-nagyon-nagyon beteg az úriember, és mégis eljött, mert ne aggódjatok, nem olyan beteg. De attól függetlenül, fogalmazunk úgy, hogy volt jobban is, és mégis itt van és előadást tartott, úgyhogy thank you very much. És kötelességem elmondani, hogy helyettes államtitkár úr nem sokára előadást tart a másikban, itt pedig majd gondos Alice fog nekünk egy jó kis prezentációt tartani, mindenki válassza saját szájző szerint a neki tetsző prezentációt. Nem politikailag, tehát...
I forgot to say something, by the way. I'm so sorry. Would the VC Budapest team please stand up? These people are some of the best in the business. We're so lucky that they're part of the Visual Concepts family, and they're really nice people too. And I would encourage you to reach out to them, ask them questions, talk to them, get to know them. I certainly hope that some of you may join VC Budapest one day. Thank you again.